Hello, everyone. Good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in to our next episode of our program here, where we're going to cover all the insider information as well as any of the takes on the Pokemon community that are currently in circulation. Thanks so much for tuning in with us at the Bread Report from Pokemon Truth Media. So let's get back into the news without any hesitation. Unlike the Pokemon Home update, they said early spring 2023, but it looks like, speaking of which, we're finally getting our Pokemon Home update. May 24th, it's supposed to be released. There's going to be backwards and forwards capability for the Switch games, specifically Scarlet and Violet. This is one of the largest things that people have been waiting for. There's a lot of these limitations, though, that are going to be in place for this update. There are going to be some attack limitations and some Pokemon limitations as well, which is interesting in a series that's all about catching them all. Some of the limitations will be, of course, some of the movesets from Pokemon Legends Arceus. Some of those moves will be updated to fit into the meta of Pokemon Scarlet Violet, as well as some of the Pokemon will be actually added in as we get our DLC, and those Pokemon actually being coded into the game. We can't do our 151 anymore, it looks like, but there's going to be some new ones coming back, so just have to see. Hopefully we'll get even closer to having some of our favorites back. Can't wait to see all the starters back. Can't wait to see those other legendaries as well, so that's going to be great for the meta and the competitive scene, as well as any of the collectors out there. Here comes some of your favorites. If you use the Pokemon Home update when it's announced on May 24th, you'll get the hidden ability Paldea starters, which is a very interesting gift. Back in Pokemon Bank, they used to give hidden ability legendaries as well as some of the starters like the Johto and the Unova starters, so it's very interesting to see this trend continue, hopefully for a long time in the future. Next up on our video game outreach zone, we're going to be looking at Zacian Outrage. We've been covering Zacian Outrage before, actually on our first episode, but now it's getting a lot more deeper and deeper, like the water routes around Hoenn. A petition has been filed by the Redditors on the Pokemon Unite subreddit. A bunch of signatures have been put up, and this petition is detailing the outrage around Zacian, Comfey, and some of the balancing issues in their game, where they release a new Pokemon, and then all of a sudden it's the most used Pokemon in the game. It's very overpowered, and there aren't any checks and balances to the system. Well, I guess we'll have to switch off of our doggos with our knives and go to someone else for this, because it looks like they're calling for a bunch of revamps to the system here, and I'm all for those revamps. I like to see a variety of Pokemon being used in Pokemon Unite, especially the evolutions, and then you have the evolutions, and then you have Glaceon, and then you have Zacian, and then you have Comfey, and then you have the evolutions. So, all that good stuff in there. That petition is really kicking up steam right now. They're detailing the timeline of when Zacian, Comfey, and some other examples were released, how overpowered, and they're claiming that it looks like there's a lack of testing before these Pokemon were released. There's also some things about the paywall in the game when you're trying to buy a Pokemon license in there for a new character. They put it behind an alleged paywall, so not many people could access it, and those who do, they get to use this overpowered or broken Mon and really just steamroll the rest of the playing field. Or in Zacian's case, they really stab it. Alright, speaking of stabbing, let's take a stab at some TCG news. Gardevoir has been cemented into TCG realm again. Everyone's favorite waifu Pokemon is back with that Gardevoir EX from Scarlet and Violet base, and new techniques as well as combos have been created over the past few weeks involving that card. Usually they pair Gardevoir EX from Scarlet and Violet with the Shining Arcana Gardevoir from Chilling Reign. A lot of interesting stuff you could do there. Very nice to see one of my favorite types in the Pokemon series, the Psychic type, of course, to be used in a lot of decks right now, so that's great. And to all the Gardevoir fans out there, yeah, just keep using your Shining Arcana and maybe they'll add a Lopunny EX as well. Alright, now back to Pokemon Go. So they're going to be releasing some Shadow Raids. These Shadow Raids will be involving your best buds, the Team Rocket from Pokemon Go, and from these Shadow Raids you'll be able to purify these gems that lower the attack and defense of raid bosses. So it gives you an edge in battle, just like Zacian does in Pokemon Unite. Right, thank you so much everyone for tuning in to this update for all the Pokemon Insider information from the community itself, as well as any general news from the Pokemon series. I'll continue to give updates on this, unlike Pokemon Home with its update that was supposed to be spring 2023, but we're moving into summer already. But let's just sweep that under the rug, and hopefully it will get a balancing patch from the Pokemon Unite side of things. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and do something nice for someone. I'm signing out, and I'm blasting off just like Team Rocket. Whoosh.